And if you think that's great, wait to see what we have on deck for the main event. We've finally gotten to this point, literally, with the two biggest guys that are going to be on this card on July 29th. And as you heard Jimmy mention before, we talked about that David Haye, Vladimir Klitschko fight a couple of weeks ago. And the one thing I can promise you is this fight's not going to be like what you saw 2 weeks ago. You won't see anybody running and hiding, not willing to get in there and trade punches. These are two knockout artists, and they come to fight every time they step in that ring. And they are coming to fight on July 29th. If you look at the knockout power between the two of them, Mariusz Wach has 12 knockouts and 24 victories. Kevin McBride has 29 knockouts in his 35 wins. And like Kevin told me a couple of weeks ago, he says, hey, I got 29 knockouts, I must be doing something right. And we all saw that 6 years ago against Mike Tyson. We saw the blow that ended the career of one of the great heavyweights of all time. So Kevin McBride surely is an opponent who is not to be taken lightly. And I know the team from Global Boxing is taking this fight as seriously as they would take any fight, knowing the power that Kevin McBride brings to the table. And we could go on and on about this fight and how tremendous it's going to be and how this is going to be one of those wars. But it's best to hear it from the fighters themselves. So first I want to introduce, fighting out of Dorchester and Brockton, Mass, originally from Clones, Ireland, 35-9-1 with 29 knockouts, the Clones Colossus, Kevin McBride.
Hello everybody, I'd like to thank Jerry Quinn and Mike Moynihan and my wee leprechaun friend here, Tommy White. Stand up there, Tommy. He's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve. Well, not today, but the 29th of July. And this is, you know, I seen a sign on the wall that says, wherever there's an opportunity, there's a chance. And you know, the 29th, the 4th of July here, there's a lot of fireworks, but I'm saving the fireworks for the 29th of July. I fought Thomas Adamek. I couldn't even say his name, but now I can. Thomas Adamek, and you know, I was dizzy for 2 weeks after because I couldn't catch him, you know. But I don't think Wach is as quick as Adamek, and this is going. You know, he's coming to fight. I'm coming to fight.
You predict the knockout?
Yes, of course. It's not going 12 rounds. Radovan Shabula, you know, I've been training with my old time trainer, Radovan Shabula, in the fitness gym, and you know, today I actually benched 450 pounds, pretty strong, you know, man. You know, this is the heaviest I ever lift. You know, weights don't mean, you know, boxing is a totally different sport, but like, you know, when you feel strong, you feel healthy, you feel good, you know. I said I was going to retire after the last fight. CES called me up through Jerry Quinn and said, you know, we'll have a fight for you, it's a title fight. I said, you know what, my daughter's 6 years old, we just painted the room purple. I said, you know what, that belt will look nice in our room, you know. So I told her after the 29th, I'm going to have a nice belt in your room, and I'm looking forward to this fight. I've come to fight, like everybody says, you know, you can run but you can't hide from McBride. It's going to be exciting. I love this sport, you know, and I'm going to give it all because George Foreman proved it when he was 45. He won the world title. He knocked out Michael Moore. I have what it takes. Come Friday night in Mohegan Sun, you're going to see fireworks, and it's going to be exciting. God bless, and thank you.
All right, great job, Kevin. Thank you. You know, it's worth mentioning, too, just like Pito Cardona said, he has a couple of fights left in the tank, and so does Kevin McBride. And I think Kevin really showed that against Tomas Adamek in their last fight. To go the distance with one of the top heavyweights in the world, Tomas Adamek's in line for a fight against Vitaly Klitschko for the WBC World Championship. So to see Kevin go in there and go 12 rounds obviously proves that there's a lot left in that tank, and I think we're going to see that on July 29th. Now, as for Kevin's opponent, again, this is a fighter who is just one of the purebred heavyweights making his climb in the division, number 13th in the world. And it's worth mentioning, he actually fought on one of our shows last November and put on an impressive display with a 6-round knockout. It's the first time that I had a chance to see him, and I was thoroughly impressed with his raw knockout power. It's just tremendous, and he can catch you at any second. And when he does land, he lands pretty hard. And since then, he's been working with a new training team, the De Leon brothers, Carlos and Juan, who we mentioned earlier. And they know how to train heavyweights. They work with Baby Joe Macy from Buffalo, New York, who's 35-0 as a heavyweight. So if anybody knows how to work with heavyweights, it's the De Leon brothers. And Mariusz and I talked about it last week, about the progress that he has made since working with the De Leons. We're going to have him say a few words about that as well. So I'm proud to introduce Kevin McBride's opponent in this heavyweight title fight, 24-0 with 12 knockouts, from Bergen, New Jersey, Mariusz Wach.
Witam wszystkich serdecznie. Na początku chciałbym podziękować swojej rodzinie za wspieranie mnie w tym, co robię. Chciałbym podziękować również Mariuszowi Kołodziejowi za pomoc i współpracę w tym, co kocham najbardziej.
In the beginning, he would like to thank all his friends and families, especially his promoter, Mariusz Kołodziej.
Chciałem również podziękować Jimmy'emu Birchfield za to, że jest w moim teamie. Wiem, że dzięki niemu i Mariuszowi Kołodziejowi spełni się mój sen w Stanach.
I want to thank Jimmy Birchfield for co-promoting this fight with Global Boxing and for representing him on this fight too.
Chciałem podziękować również organizacji WBC, Mohegan Sun Casino, wszystkim sponsorom za zorganizowanie tej walki.
We'd like to thank Mohegan Sun, all the sponsors that organized the event, for a great night of boxing.
Chciałem podziękować również moim trenerom za przygotowanie mnie do tej walki i wiem, że tak samo wiem ja, jak wie Kevin, że ta walka to jest nasza przepustka w dalszej naszej karierze. Wiem, że Kevin mi nie odpuści w żadnej sekundzie tej walki. Ja jestem przygotowany w 95%. Jeszcze zostały 2 tygodnie na poprawienie tego obrazu.
He'd like to thank his trainer. He knows that this is his fight, just as Kevin McBride knows this is his fight, that this will go into war. He's putting in all his 100% into this fight. He has 2 more weeks of training, and he knows it's going to be an all-night or full war at the heat wave at Mohegan Sun.
I chciałbym podziękować Kevinowi za podpisanie tego kontraktu i danie możliwości zawalczenia z tak dobrym zawodnikiem, liczącym się tutaj w Stanach jest wyróżniany przez różnych znawców boksu tutaj w Stanach.
Much respect for Kevin McBride to taking this fight, and he has to give much respect to all the people that came here today for press for this fight, and we can't wait for Mohegan Sun.
Dziękuję.
He thanks you all.